सतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय.
Hello my dear students, today's our topic is food security. Is it? Today's our topic is food security. Why we are going to discuss this topic? Once you understand, that is the theme of the topic, whatever we are going to discuss. Food security means in our country some portion of the people were insecure, some section of the people were insecure. Those people were not able to eat daily basis. There is not availability of the food grains for them. They are not accessible to get the food, and they are not affordable for the food. Hence, now we are going to discuss this topic. Who are the people they are facing the problems, and what are the solutions? What is the actual scenario of this food security? Why the government launched the various programs to secure the people, to provide the food to the people? That we will discuss today. Okay? Next. As per the NCERT records, as per the NCERT, National Council of Education, Research and Training textbook, as per the NCERT textbook, it is 27 crores of the people. 27 crores of the people were poor. Okay? Most of the poor people are in Bihar and Odisha. Right. So as per the NCERT, 27 crores of the people were unable to meet their daily necessities, unable to meet their needs like food, clothes, shelter, isn't it? So they are poor. So poverty also one of the reason for the lack of food or insufficient food for them. Poverty. Example, as per the Suresh Tendulkar committee, it is also not given. These are whatever data I am sharing to you. This data is not given in our textbook as per the NCERT. Suresh Tendulkar committee, Rangarajan committee, they also say that day by day, every year, considerably most of the poor people were increasing, isn't it? Increasing. Whenever population raises, then at the same time poverty percentage also increasing, but the speed was very less. While compared to the past 2 decades, it was very slow. But we have to discuss about the poor and poor's conditions and food security. Yeah. What are the reasons for the poverty? What are the reasons for the food security? What are the reasons? Why most of the people were, they are unable to meet their necessities? Because there are various reasons are there. First one is British policy. British policies is also one of the reason. Second one, illiteracy. Third one, unemployment. Next, uneven development. They may ask you to, for 1 mark or 2 mark, what are the reasons for the poverty? What are the reasons for the food security? What are the reasons for not availability of the food grains? The first one is British policies. Sir, how British policies are also reasons for the food insecurity of the not availability of the food grains in India? Because I wanted to share one more important incident which took place in 1943. In 1943, in Bengal, famine occurred in Bengal. Bengal famine occurred in 1943. Many people were died. Even the cattle also died. Animals also died. Many, because due to the British policies, also unfavorable policies towards the Indian. Illiteracy. Majority of the people were illiterate. Then there is not availability of the jobs or not availability of the food grains. Also one of the reasons for the illiteracy. Next, unemployment. So they are skillless. Whenever they are skillless, that also one of the reasons for unemployment. And unemployment is also reasons for the poverty and also lack of food. Next, uneven development. Certain states were well developed, certain states were not developed. Developed states, underdeveloped states. Those states are underdeveloped states. These states are, there is high poverty ratio is there. Example, you see Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha. Lot of mineral resources are confined in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, but they are not developed while compared to the other states. These were not developed. Okay. Next. So the famines, British policies are reasons for the famines because they did not take any measures to stop or to prevent from droughts and famines. Okay, next. Why famines occur? Due to the insufficient supply. You have to understand that famines 1943 famine, 1943 Bengal famine occurred due to the insufficient supply, or supply is not organized. Because Bengal famine, reasons for the Bengal famine, insufficient supply, insufficient supply. Yeah, first reason is what are the reasons for that? British policies only. In British policy, what are the reasons? One is insufficient supply. They did not provide supply properly, or the supply not organized properly. Supply not organized properly. Yeah, these two are the main important reasons. Right, after we got independence, government organizing supply through various departments. After independence, government wanted to provide the food to each and every poor people. Those who are unable to afford, the government providing these food grains through Anganwadi, and the government providing certain food. What are the basic requirements to the children? Okay, the nutritious food. It is through Anganwadi. Even the pregnant ladies also will get. Okay, small kids also they will get up to 6 years age. Next, government also providing midday meals to the students all over India. Okay. Next, government also fair price shops or ration shops. Government organizing ration shops, so that there will be a little bit change during the British period and Indian period. So whenever we got independence, government is concentrating on this food because they wanted to provide to the poorest of the poor, or those who are unable to afford for the food. Next, to provide food, what we require? To provide food to the each and everyone, those who require the food. First one is, three components are very important. First one is availability. Availability of the food grains. Second one, accessibility of the food. Third one, most important, affordability. So these three are very important to provide food to each and everyone in India. Availability of the food grains. If you have availability of the food grains, then there is a need to accessible. Means whenever we have access food, more food grains, then we can provide, that can be reached to the other person. You do not have anything, how that can be reached to the other persons? So that accessibility, the meaning of the accessibility is to reach. For example, myself, I have million tons of food grains myself, but that is not reaching to the poor people, that will be rotten, that will be wastage. Next, whatever that is reaching to the people, there must be affordability. For example, availability is there, accessibility is there, but the cost was very high. They cannot do. Example, you see this year onion prices approximately 180 to 200 rupees kg. It was reached, isn't it? So that we cannot afford. It is available in the market. When we imported from Egypt, it was available. Still, it was till 100 to 120 rupees were there. We are unable to afford. The poor people were unable to purchase because of they do not have purchasing power. Please remember, we need to afford, we need to have purchasing power, we need to increase purchasing power, isn't it? So these three are very important to ensure the food security in India. Then we ask, to ensure the food security in India, what we have to do? We have to do that, we have to make sure these three. One is availability of the food grains, accessibility of the food grains, affordability of the food grains, isn't it? Next, producing sufficient food grains is an important requirement of the food security. How we can secure the people of India in banks of food? Because producing sufficient food grains is an important requirement to the food security. Because we need to produce sufficient food grains. Whenever we are able to produce sufficient food grains, then it is able to reach reach to the people. Whenever it will be able to that reach people, there should be afford. So that the government, what they did, majority of the people were unable to afford. Okay, as per the National Institute of Nutrition, okay, their survey reports and Indian government survey reports, the people were underweight, isn't it? Women also underweight while comparatively. So that the government wanted to provide food grains in subsidized prices. For example, outside 40 rupees kg rice is there, rice per kilo. But government providing us 1 rupee kg rice. It's better. They can afford 1 rupee, no issue. Isn't it? They can survive. Not quality, but okay, they can survive with this 1 rupee. It is nowadays it is quality food is coming from the government, from the ration shops. 1 kg, 1 rupee per kg, it is, they can survive. Yeah. Let us compare. Is it India food grains are day by day increasing or not? It is increasing or not? In our textbook they have given about data. They have given the comparison of 1970-71, next 2011, next 2010-11, 2010-11. Let us compare day by day food production increasing or decreasing. In 1940, 1970, 71. First one, 40 million tons. 40 million tons of paddy. 40 million tons of paddy was grown in the year 2010, 11, it was reached to 95 million tons. 95 million tons paddy, same. In 1970-71, 40 million tons of paddy was produced. But it was 95 million tons. That means approximately double, more than double. Next, second one, 25 million tons. 25 million tons. 25 million tons of wheat was produced in 1970-71. It was reached to 88 million tons. 88 million tons in 2010 and 2011. Next, third one. Just only we have compare 3. Third one, there was 9 million tons. 9 million tons of jowar. Okay, 9 million tons of jowar, but it is in 2010 and 11 only 8 million tons. 8 million tons of jowar was grown because most probably farmers are growing only the paddy and wheat, and the portion of the growing area or the food grains cultivated under the jowar decreased. Jowar decreased, but paddy wheat increased because majority of the people in India they consume paddy, that means rice. Then rest of the people in North India and Northwest they consume wheat. So whatever the requirement they consume, most of the farmers or people of India, these are producing. And the coarse grains, the millets, the considerably declining day by day. So that area under cultivation, we can say that paddy wheat increase, the production, the cultivatable land under paddy and wheat increased because area under cultivation increased. Area under irrigation also increased. So that food production also increased. I repeat, they may ask, give reasons for the increasing of food production in India from 1972 to 2010. Because cultivated area increased, then production was increased. Cultivated area increased, production was increased. Irrigated area increased, then production was increased. HYV, high yield varieties of seeds we are using, so that millions of tons have been increased whenever we compare it to the 40 years, 1972 and 2010. Next, one of the important aspect is that the inputs, we need to arrange the irrigation facilities to them. We need to arrange the inputs in a judicious manner. I repeat. So to expand, what we have to do? What we have to do for increasing of production? What we have to do for increasing of production? Yeah, tell me your ideas. First one, irrigation facilities need to be provided. Irrigation facilities. So we have to remember our previous lesson that we have learned that 40% of the land, less than 40% of the land was under irrigated. Remaining percent of the land, it have to be depends upon rain. Okay, next. Second one, subsidized. Government need to be give loans. Government have to give loans to them. Agricultural inputs, government have to be give agricultural inputs to them, and government have to give inputs to provide in a judicious manner. For example, government they'll give most of the loans to the Punjab, Haryana because they have lot of lands. But the marginal farmers, whatever we discussed in the Rampur village, the marginal farmers they were unable to get that. Okay. Next, irrigation facilities, government have to be give loans to them, and government have to be provide seeds and pesticides. Seeds and pesticides. Whatever the seeds and whatever the pesticides, farmers want that better to provide by the government, because sometimes we may read that many times we read in the newspaper that nagli seeds. Okay, the seeds were whenever they sow the seed that may not grow, especially in the cotton plantations that we may read and watched in many times in our news channels. Okay, next, to raise production, what we have to do? Next, to raise production, the fourth one is very important one. Plant drought resistant crops. Planting drought resistant crops, very very important. Planting drought resistant crop. Planting drought resistant crops. Yeah, planting drought resistant crops. This is the important one. Fifth one, water harvesting. Sixth one, crop rotation. This what we have to do for increasing of production. Irrigation facilities need to be increases. Government have to be provide loans. Seeds and pesticides provided by the government. Planting drought resistant crops. Example, bajra, jowar, certain millets. For example, grams, green gram, Bengal gram, horse gram, okay, red gram. These are that can be increase the soil fertility also. That crops may increase the soil fertility. That is the fixation of the nitrogen to the soil. At the same time, that soil also can give us very valuable pulses to us, isn't it? So, drought resistant crops. Jowar is a drought resistant crop. Wherever there was a low rainfall occurs, records, most of the people they may go for the jowar. But jowar is declining day by day because they doesn't want, because if they wanted to sell the jowar, less price they will get, less money they will get. Next, crop rotation. Crop rotation is very mandatory we have to follow. If all the members they plant paddy only, the majority of the members they plant wheat only, what if the rest of the things? We want vegetables, we want fruits, we want variety kind of the diversity food basket we required. We doesn't want only wheat and paddy. We want a diversity food basket. Every human being wants diversity food basket. So that can be fulfilled with the help of crop rotation. We have to be insist. We have to be focused on the crop rotation. Then automatically certain crops may increase in our India. So these are the reasons we can do that to raise the production in our India. It's very very important. In annual examination, questions may arise from this concept. I repeat, from this concept, question may arise in our annual examination. Next. Okay, sir, your idea is very good, pretty good your ideas. Yes, sir, good idea. Let us focus like whatever they have shown in recently one movie, Bhishma movie related to agriculture. But at the same time, whenever we do these things, we have to make sure that soil and other natural resources not be damaged. Whenever soil and other natural resources should not damaged. Yeah, what kind of things they have done? Sir, how it will be happen? We go for more pesticides, chemicals and fertilizers. It will be very dangerous to us. Okay? Soil fertility, soil also lose its fertility, and other natural resources like groundwater. The groundwater may be depleted. Okay, so some of the scientists also report that. Some of the scientists they report that the way rice and wheat, the way rice and wheat, the way rice and wheat intensively or unscientifically they are producing with the help of chemicals and fertilizers. With the help of chemicals and fertilizers, unscientifically, intensively, in India we are producing rice and wheat. It will be very damaging. It will damage the soil, it also damages the fertility, it also damages the depleting of water resources. Water resources completely they may go down. Then the future generation may not have water for especially for drinking, not for the irrigation, not for the food crops, just for the drinking. This water may not available. That is the scientist point of view. According to the scientist report, that the way rice and wheat are cultivating in India are intensive and unscientifically due to chemical fertilizers and insecticide. So due to this, soil lose its fertility, groundwater also depleted. So that we have to concentrate. Whenever we are trying to raise our products, we have to concentrate these two things also. We want more production. If we want more chemical and pesticides, it will be suicide, self-suicide. It will be definitely self-suicide. But temporarily it is okay. 1-2 years it is okay. But we can go permanently, continuously. It may be majority of the people of the country may die or their life expectancy will be decreased. Next, availability of food grains. Availability of the food grains. Thus, food grains are available to all. Availability of food grains. Yeah, availability of the food grains. I said to you three: availability, accessibility, affordability. Okay, so that we can able to produce for all. Produce grains for all. Yeah, what is the meaning of that? Availability of food grains means what? Produce grains for all. Second one, what? It needs to reach all. It need to reach all. Next, per capita availability of the grains. Third one is per capita availability. Per capita availability. Per capita availability, because per person, if the grains produced, if we divide per person in India, that is sufficient. If not sufficient, it may lead to lot of health problems like kwashiorkor, marasmus problems may come, underweight problem. Okay, that we can see in the Eastern African countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Uganda. Most probably the people are very poor. Nowadays there are very lot of problem they are suffering due to corona effect. Okay, so there is a difference between, we have to find out that there is a difference between the production and availability. We have to find out. We need to find out what is there is a difference between production and availability. How much production is done in India and how much food grains are available in India. How much food production was there and how much production was happened in India and how much availability is there. Let us see how the calculation, we will calculate that. Yeah, to calculate that, availability of food grains for the year. Availability of food grains for year. Yeah, for year. Availability of the food grains for the year. Yeah, for the year. How we can calculate? Because it can be calculated production of the food grains during the year. Production of the food grains in the year. Yeah, in this year how much production we done? In this year how much production we done? Plus net imports. Net imports means how much export we are doing and how much grains we are importing. That is called as net imports. Okay, net imports minus change in stocks, minus change in stock with the Government. Yeah, government means you know that opening stock will be there. Opening stock and the closing stock. Yeah. So availability of the food grains for the year, we have to calculate as per this method. Production of the food grains in the year, that means seed, feed, wastage. Production of the food grains in the year, this include food grains, wastage, feed. Food, feed, wastage. These three. Net imports. For example, we are exporting more in our India, no food grains. For example, we are importing more food grains are available in India. So we have to less exports minus imports. Then net imports will become net imports. Then after minus change in stock with the government. How much last year in 2019? What is the opening stock? How much opening stock was there? For example, 1,000 million tons were there. But in the opening, but by the closing only 200 million tons only will be there. So 200 million tons, 2020, 200 million tons were there. So 2020 again the Kharif season, Rabi season, again 1,000 million tons were there. So the opening will be 1,200 million tons. The opening will be 1,200 million tons. So this manner they calculate usually for the availability of the food grains. This is the calculation method. I repeat, production of the food grains during the year plus net imports minus change in the stock with the government. Change in the stock means opening stock and closing stock. Okay. Next step, production of the food grains in the year, that means feed, wastage, grains. This also includes net imports, exports and imports. So this is availability of the food grains for the year. Now let us see availability of the food grains per person. Availability of food grains per person. Second method, availability of food grains per person. Yeah, per person the food grains are available or not? Yeah, it is equal to availability of food grains per person per day. Yeah, availability of the food grains per person per day. Yeah, how we can calculate availability of food grains for the year? Availability of food grains for the year divided by population. Yeah, availability of the food grains for the year divided by population into 365 days. Then the average consumption, the average per capita grains will become. So how much grains we consumed? For example, we have consumed 121 crore 1,93,422 we consumed. Okay, this many kgs of 121 crore 1,93,422 tons of kgs of production we have done. So what is our population? Same our population 121 crore 1,93,422. Okay, then it will come 1 kg. Per capita consumption is only 1 kg. Every person will get 1 kg. Okay, so that this is also very important. Next, in the table in our textbook, in government they have mentioned about the calculations 1977 calculations they have done, 1971 calculations, 1991 calculations and also 2011 calculations. As per the 2011 calculation, there will be a considerable change in the food pattern. There is a considerable change in the stocks. Sometimes in earlier there was the stock was limited. In 1971 stock was limited. That time government imported most of the material from the other countries like Vietnam, Indonesia. They imported much of the grains to produce, to distribute to the poorest of the poor in India. Yeah. Next, nowadays day by day consumption is increasing. Okay, and the production also increasing. Due to that, to meet these stocks, government, they are using FCIs, Food Corporation of India. Food Corporation of India. It was set up in 1965. Okay, it was set up for the buffer stocks. If anything will be happen. So now, if, for example, due to Corona problem, the government of Telangana giving 12 cases per head. 12 cases per head. Where these 12 cases? Does our CM in our CM house? These all are stored? Not. These all are stored in FCI. In any other aspects or any emergency circumstances that may be released. That may be released the food for us. Next step. So there will be change. Government took responsibility is that they wanted to provide accessibility, availability and affordability of the food. Next step. What is the consumption pattern? Consumption pattern. Let us see consumption pattern. Yeah. What is consumption pattern? How the consumption can be changed? If we all wanted to eat paddy, all members need to be produce paddy only, or else it may not meet our needs. So that we have to think. Okay, it is very good for the consumers and producers for the change of the consumption pattern. They have to change the consumption pattern. We have to change the consumption pattern. Then they will change their production pattern. That will be from both sides. From the consumer side, from the producer side, it will be benefited. Dual benefit. What is the dual benefit? Consumption pattern. When I change my consumption pattern, then the producers also change their production pattern, isn't it? Next. Yeah. In the earlier phase, in the lesson, I have discussed with you that diverse food basket. Diverse food basket. What does mean diverse food basket? Diverse food basket means what? Means we need to eat a diverse, different kind of the food material we have to eat. Among that, we have to eat vegetables, we have to eat fruits, meat, other grains, coarse grain, cereal grains, different kinds of the grains we have to use. That is also very important for us and very healthy for us. And the nutritionists also suggest that you have to eat this much of grams of vegetables per day, this many milligrams of milk, milliliters of milk you have to take. You have to take daily 1 egg, or you have to take this many of coarse grains, fruits they have to take. There is a data is there, pattern, this complete food pattern is there. So that what we can understand, diverse food basket means we have to eat different kinds of vegetables, different kinds of food grains. Then that these also will be help in the production of the other materials, other horticultures. You know that India is ranking second in the horticulture. Okay, India produces various fruits and vegetables that we have done in the 9th class. But many of members where need to be depends upon the diverse food baskets. Yeah. What the nutritionists suggest? Nutritionists suggest that. Nutritionist suggest that 300 grams of vegetable. 300 grams of vegetable. Every person per day they have to eat 300 grams of vegetable. But the availability is only 180 grams. Availability is only 180 grams. Then every person per day 100 grams of the fruits. 100 grams of the fruits they have to eat per day. But the availability is only 58 grams. 58 grams. And also they say that 180 eggs per annum. 180 eggs per annum, but available eggs are only 30 eggs are available. This nutritionist suggests that every person must eat 11 kgs of meat per year. 11 kgs of meat per year, but availability is only 3.2 kilo per person. Okay, and also suggests that 300 milligrams of milk. 300 milligrams of milk we have to drink, but availability is 210 milliliters. 210 milliliters. So that also given as example is that we are lack. We need to produce more vegetables. We need to produce more fruits. We need to produce more eggs. We need to produce more meat, and we have to produce more dairy farm products. So that here to fulfill our diverse food baskets, the farmers, the producers, the corporate companies, they have to be must ensure on this aspect whatever the nutritionists suggest. Because if the only paddy will increase, wheat will increase, but day by day, the per capita consumption of the rest of the things may be, per capita consumption will be, rest of the things may be increased due to different reasons. So that we can say that farmers also require, we can easily say that farmers also require to adopt to the different section. They have to be, for example, they are producing 10 acres of the land paddy, they are irrigating, they are cultivating paddy. So in the one acre of the land, different kinds of the production they did, that will be really benefit, because paddy also will come and rest of the things also may come for us, which can be fulfill our diversity basket. So farmers also require capture the market. They have to capture the market. Many of the farmers, they don't know of these kind of the statistics. So that the awareness need to be created by the government, and research institute like agriculture research institute, agriculture research colleges need to be create awareness among to the farmers for the better inputs for the crop pattern or crop rotation and water harvest management, planting different of rotation of crops also. That is the responsibilities, our responsibility, government responsibility, at the same time other corporate company responsibility, at the same time farmers also need to be take initiative. Okay, so careful planning is required. So to fulfill the same, what we require? Careful planning is required. If the planning was not good, definitely we may fail. If 1-2 times we fail, and farmers may not go again to the farmer may go to again to their same paddy pattern or wheat pattern. So that when we adopt to the different diverse crop pattern, definitely India per capita available will be definitely increased. Why I am saying, sir, availability of the per capita consumption of the grains were very less? Because there is a statistics showing that against of the European countries per capita consumption, is 700 grams, whereas USA per capita consumption, United States of America per capita consumption is 850 grams. So that India per capita consumption was very less than that. So that we can say that decline in the per capita availability of the food grains, we are very somewhere else we are very lag well compared to the European countries and American countries, other American countries also, even we are lag in the South American countries. So decline in the per capita availability of the food grains is something to be worried. Declining per capita production was availability of the food grains was something is worried. Okay, so that what the government will be take steps for the secure the people of India in very secure in regards to food. So in this session we have done that what is food security, what happened, how much poor percentage were there, what is the need for availability, what is availability, accessibility and affordability, and is production was sufficient in India or not, and what are the problems we may face to raise the production, and how the availability of the food grains per year and availability of the food grains per person, and what is diverse food basket we have done in this session. I hope I have cleared up this lesson. Let us see what is access to food. What is access to food? You see that it is not sufficient to produce food grains. That also we discussed. It is not sufficient to produce food grains. Everyone should be able to acquire, or everyone should able to buy the food grains. So that is the mean of access. I repeat, it is not sufficient to produce food grains. Everyone should be able to buy them. So that is the access to food. But really everybody is able to access the minimum requirement of the food in India? Is everybody? I repeat, is everybody in India, they can able to get access minimum food requirements? No. Compulsory? Definitely no. Not everybody they have access the food. If everybody access the food, there will be no poverty. That whatever we discussed in our previous session, that is 27 crores of the people were poverty. So that the accessibility of the mean is, it is not sufficient to produce food grains. It is not only sufficient to produce the food grains, it also it need to be reached to everyone. It also need to be afford to purchase. Does all the people they are able to purchase whatever the minimum requirement they want? Let us see. I say no. So how can you say that majority of the people were unable to access the food, unable to purchase the food? Because poverty is there, no. So poverty is there, we can say that, isn't it? 27% of the poor people are there in India. Okay. So that is one criteria. Another criteria we will discuss. National average calorie intake. National average calorie intake. First one is poverty. Second one is national average calorie intake. Calorie intake. You see, in our 8th class also we have learned that per person, the average calorie intake. The per person, what is the kilocalories per person? How much kilocalories they have to take per day? You know that 2100 kilocalories. 2100 kilocalories. That we know that we measured in kilocalories the energy, the food requirements, whatever they gave us energy, that will be calculated into the kilocalories, isn't it? So 2100 kilocalories, 2100 kilocalories in urban areas. So 2100 kilocalories food intake, or these intake we required in urban areas, because urban area people, much of the people, they doesn't want more kilocalories, because they don't do heavier work like whatever the villages obviously they do. Rural areas, 2400 kilocalories. 2400 kilocalories in the rural areas. This is actual food intake per day. This is food intake per day. So per day in rural areas, the person they have to take the kilocalories of 2400. Yeah sir, why 2400 more in rural areas? Because most probably they do agriculture activity. Most of the majority of the members, they depends upon agriculture. Whatever we learned in our village Rampur, a village economy, we have learned that majority of the people were depends upon agriculture. In urban areas, that much of not required that many kilocalories, because some of the people will be office work and any other work, but not for the agriculture activity. Whenever the people are engaging in the agriculture activity, they need huge quantities kilocalories. Okay. So once you take this both, we can compare national average kilocalorie levels in the both rural areas and urban areas. Rural areas, urban areas are below the needed calorie requirement. I repeat, national average kilocalorie, India level, national average kilocalorie levels in both rural areas and urban areas. Rural areas and urban areas are below the needed kilocalorie requirement. Whatever this means, in urban area also they are getting less than 200, less than 2100. In rural areas also they are getting less than 2400. So that we can say that national level, every state individual level, majority of the people they are taking less kilocalories every day, because not availability of the food grains, not affordability of the food grains, not accessibility of the food grains. Whenever we able to get the food grains, first one, okay, availability, accessibility, affordability, these three are not there. Because of that, urban area also they are consuming less than this intake, and in rural areas also they are taking less than 2400 kilocalories. Okay, yeah. Our economist says, our prime minister says that our economy is growing. Okay, 3 million economy, 5 million economy, trillion economy, they says our economy is growing. At the same, whenever our economy is growing, okay, our production of goods also increasing. Production of goods increasing, our economy is growing. Economy is growing. Is it economy is growing or not? Every year GDP it is raising slowly. GDP rate also increasing. Why GDP economy is increasing? Because of the goods and services. Because of the goods and services. Whenever the goods and services increases, this also will be increases, isn't it? Next term. Yeah. Whenever economy grows, goods and services grows, but our food grains also need to be grown. But unfortunately, majority of the people were fall to take proper kilocalories. Economy is growing, food grains are growing, but considerable majority of the people were unable to purchase food products. Yeah, because if you compare, majority of the food grains are reached to well-off sections. Well-off sections. Most of the well-off sections consume. Most of the well-off sections they consume food whatever they want, more than whatever the requirement. I repeat, well-off sections. Well-off sections means rich. Well-off sections means rich. Well-off sections people they consume food. They consume food whatever the requirement, more than the requirement. They consume the food more than the requirements. Yeah, they consume the food more than the requirements. At the same time, you might have seen that very rich people they may go McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, restaurants. They eat most probably. And majority of the people are well section of people. You know they are very fat. Their BMI is more. You know that BMI we have done in 8th class, body mass index. Okay, that body mass index was above 25. Then these people were overweight people. And the people, those who are rural areas and urban areas, agricultural laborers, casual laborers. Like second section we have done about Rajeshwari, nation workers. These people are underweight because they are not properly taking the food. So here one statistic showing that 80% of rural people in India are consume below requirement. 80% of rural people in India. Yeah, 80% of rural people in India they consume less or below requirements. 80% of people in India, rural India, consume below requirements. Whatever the requirement they want, they are taking below. But those who are well-off sections, those are having lot of salary, they'll get lot of things and luxurious items they will eat. Whatever they want, they will eat. So what is the reason for this? Or why? What is the reason for this? Because reason is lack of purchasing power. Reasons. Very, very important reasons. First one is lack of purchasing power. Yeah, lack of purchasing power, first one. Second one, why second one? They do not have adequate income. They don't have adequate income. Yeah, they do not have adequate income. That is the second one. These all are they are interlinked with each other. Example, poverty. Okay, poverty, and fourth one, unemployment. These are also reasons why these rural people in India consume less than the requirement. Okay, so these are the reasons. Very, very important. These questions may ask in examinations. What are the reasons why the people are taking low level food? Why the people are taking below the average, below than the requirement? These are the reasons. Lack of purchasing power, don't have adequate income, poverty, unemployment. These two are also interlinked with the above one. Okay, you have to please identify. So that government thought that they wanted to save the poor people. They wanted to save the rural people. They wanted to save those people income was not good. So that's what PDS, public distribution system. PDS means what? Public distribution system. You know that public distribution system in various states. You compare in India, southern Indian states have good record. Public distribution system. Yeah. In this public distribution system, southern states having good record. Good record. Yeah. You might have known that what is public distribution system. In your locality, ration shop is there, fair price shop. Okay, the government will supply them rice, wheat, the grains, and people they consume or people they take. People purchase from the fair price shops. Okay. Example: the southern states, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu having good record, 91% of accuracy, 91. Then combined AP and TS. AP and Telangana state, these also having good track record of Tamil Nadu, 84%. You see Bihar is very least, only 13%. Highest is 91% of the people, getting benefits from the fair price shop in Tamil Nadu and 84% in combined Andhra Pradesh. That means AP and Telangana and Bihar least in this category. Okay. So other states grain also sold at different prices. In our Telangana grains are we are purchasing, or poor persons are purchasing 1 rupee kg. Okay, per head 6 kgs are they gave usually, but due to corona pandemic, they are giving 12 kgs rice they are giving. Okay, in other states food grains sold at different prices. In our state, different price. In Maharashtra, different price. Bihar, different price. Haryana, Punjab, different price. It will be different prices are there. Next, let us see what is PDS and what is buffer stock. PDS and buffer stock. PDS and buffer stock. Yeah, buffer stock. What is PDS, buffer stock? Just now I clarified to you what is public distribution system. Then what is buffer stock? Yeah, buffer stock. Whenever the Kharif season starts, whenever Kharif season starts, central government announce MSP. Central government announce MSP. You know that MSP already from 6th standard onwards. Minimum support price. Example. In 2019-2020, government they gave that we will give 18-15 rupees for paddy per quintal. Yeah, per quintal we will give 18-15 rupees MSP. It may be changed. 2019-18 it is different. 2020-21 it may be different. So before sowing of the seed, central government will announce MSP. So this year MSP for the paddy is 18-15. So government will purchase paddy or any other paddy. Usually government will announce majority of the crops, not only paddy, wheat, jowar, bajra, or many of the things, pulses, even pulses also. But I am taking only paddy as example. So government is ready to give per quintal 18-50 rupees to the farmers. Now we are watching news channels and reading newspapers related to that. Sudden flash floods or sudden rainfall occurs and these are damaged. Most of the paddy grains we are watching regularly. Next, whenever the government purchase from the farmer, government they store it in FCIs, Food Corporation of India. The paddy will converted into, the husk will be removed, the top layer of the paddy that we call husk will be removed. After the removal of the husk, it will be stored in the FCIs. Food Corporation of India. I hope in your town most of the Food Corporation of India is available FCI. From FCI ration shops. Here one ration shop, here one ration shop. Throughout the states, the government will be distribute, and government is purchasing paddy for 18-50 rupees. But our Telangana government, they are providing rice kg for only 1 rupee. Only rupee one. They are giving kg rice. It is government loss. They are purchasing 18-50 rupees per quintal. Do they get 100 kgs of rice? No. For example, you are giving 100 kgs of paddy to the miller. You are giving 100 kgs of paddy to the miller. Miller give to the government 67 kgs of rice. Government will give. The miller will give to the government only 67 kgs only. Miller will be give to the government. So 67 kgs means 67 rupees. Because welfare of the people. Because government doing this is because of the welfare of the people. Government wanted to protect the rural people. Government wanted to provide the food security to the people. Hence, government, purchasing from the farmers, and husk was removed, stored into FCI to these are distributed towards from the fair price shop, public distribution shop. So whenever these all stored in the FCI, which is called a buffer stock. For example, we did not distribute the people. The food grains were there from the past 5-6 years. Food grains was there in FCI only. That will be damaged. That will be rotten. That will be very bad condition. Okay, instead of the bad condition, that is better to give to the subsidized prices to the poor people, those who are unable to afford, those who are the poor people are there, isn't it? I repeat, government purchased and government stored the food grains in FCI, isn't it? So, if government didn't take the food grains out from the FCI, that will be damaged, that will be rotten. Okay, then there is no use. We have to throw in the dustbin. That's it, isn't it? So that government said that, yeah, in India poor people are there. It is better to distribute that food grains to the poor people, because if you did not distribute the food grains from the FCI, the food grains whatever there in the buffer stock, it will be damaged, it will be rotten, eaten by the rats, insects. So that the government wanted to do that, because outside people are dying due to the hunger. So many people are waiting for the food, but the government is wasting food grains. So the government started to distribute food grains for the subsidized prices. Subsidized prices. Yeah, 1/3 of the food grains. 1/3 of the food grains, purchased by the state and central government. Our Telangana state, in our Telangana state only purchasing all the paddy grains, isn't it? So Telangana government, all the state governments and central governments, they purchase from the farmers, and they distribute to they supply, they stock into the FCI. For example, 1815 paddy quintal price. But somebody came to you, they are ready to give 2000 rupees to the farmers. Then farmers can sell to them. This is government rate, and this is private person rate. Private person rate. Private person saying that to the farmers, I will give 2000 per quintal. Then the farmer can sell to the private person. If anybody not purchase, then finally the government also will purchase each and every grain for this cost, 18-15 rupees cost. Okay? Yeah. So the food security mean that majority of the people are suffering a lot of problems due to the not availability of the food grains. So Congress government in 2013, 2013, they implemented Food Security Act. They brought Food Security Act. Food Security, it is called as Food Security Act 2013. Food Security Act 2013. What does the mean of Food Security Act? Means legalize people's right to food. Yeah, it legalize people's right to food. People's right to food. Very, very important. What is the main aim of the Food Security Act? It legalizes people's right to food. It legalizes people's right to food. You, me, we all are having a right to ask food to the government, because it is a government responsibility to provide food for us. Okay, next time. So what purpose, in what ways, how they can provide, this Food Security Act implies, this Food Security Act, it is mostly, it applies, for whom it is applies, okay, it applies 2/3 of the population, 2/3 of the population, because we know that 2/3 of the population is unable to get the requirement. Okay, next step. For whom, sir? Every person. To whom they will give? Every person. Every person means for all. Every person of low income. Every person of low income. Every person of low income. Those persons' income was very low. Those persons' income was very low. income entitled to get, yeah, entitled to get 5 kgs of food grains, 5 kgs of food grains. Yeah. Then what are the rupees? Food grains per person. Yeah, per person or per month. Okay, it is, yeah, per month. Per month they wanted to give 5 kgs of food grains. Sir, food grains are also available in shops, sir. Yeah, food grains are available at shop, but the food grains cost is very high. These are subsidized rates. Subsidized rates. Yeah, subsidized rates. Subsidized rate means less cost. Example, rice cost is 30 to 35 rupees outside. The cost of the rice is 30 to 35 rupees per kg. Here they are giving for 1 rupee or 2 rupee. Telangana government giving for 1 rupee kg only, isn't it? What will come for the 1 rupee? We can say that 1 kg of rice will come. One family can eat. The 4 members family can eat in a day. Okay, so that is subsidized rate. Not only that, but also poorest of the poor. Government also giving 35 kgs. 35 kgs of grains. 35 kgs of the grains. The government wanted to give grains to poorest of the poor. Poorest of the poor. Sir, who are poorest of the poor? Poorest of the poor, they are very poor. So for them, this scheme is called as Antyodaya. Antyodaya Anna Yojana scheme. Antyodaya Anna Yojana scheme. Yeah, for them, the poorest of the poor, they are entitled to get 35 kgs of grains. 35 kgs of grains per month. So it is the central government scheme. It is central government scheme. Moreover, sir, what prices they may give? They give that the prices rice. Okay, rice may be for 3 rupees per kg. Rice, wheat they may give for the 2 rupees kg, rupees 3, rupees 2. Okay, jowar, millet they may give for rupee 1. So what we will get? For 2 rupee we are getting rice. 3 rupees we are getting rice. Wheat we are getting for 2 rupee kg. In one state the prices are different. Prices are different in one places, but in our Telangana states, okay, 1 rupee, but in other state that will be different. So I am discussing this with you as per the textbook. As per the textbook. So this is Food Security Act. What is the aim of the food security? Food security is legalize people's right to food. We have a right to life. We have the right to life. We need to right life. Also we need to right to food. Okay. Then it applies to the two-thirds of the population. Every person of low income entitled to get 5 kgs of food grains per month at subsidized prices. At subsidized rates, 35 kgs of grains to the poorest of the poor. It is also called as Antyodaya Anna Yojana scheme. It is central government scheme. It is central government scheme. It is central government scheme. Next. Who will be really benefited to this? The real beneficiaries were 75% of the rural, 75% of the rural people and 50% of the urban people. Okay, 75% of the rural people, 50% of the urban people. Really, they can buy. They have a right to buy. They can get, or they can have a right to purchase. Okay. Okay, sir, if everything is good, if government not provided grains, then what will happen? If government, in case the government not provided, then what? Government will give cash. Government give cash to purchase. Government give cash to purchase food grains. Government will give the grains. If the government is failed to provide the food grains, then definitely government will give cash to you. You can purchase. Okay. Next, National Food Security Scheme. It is, it has lot of aspects, lot of aims. It is very broader. How you can say that this is a lot of broader? Because this law also include national food security. National food security law also includes National food security law also includes that free cooked meal to the pregnant. First one, yeah, free cooked meal to pregnant. That you know that pregnant ladies, they can get cooked meal from Anganwadis. So this national food security law also ensure that free cooked meal to the pregnant ladies. Okay. Next, second important is lactating mothers. Lactating mothers. Sir, what is lactating mothers? Lactating mothers means those mothers were feeding to the children. Okay. So usually they feed the children, no? So those mothers are giving milk to their kids. So that is called as lactating mothers. Lactating mothers. Third one, children 1 to 6 years. Children aged. You can say that children aged 1 to 6 years. 1 to 6 years. So that you know that Anganwadis. Moreover, midday meals. This is National Food Security Act. So National Food Security Act also, they provided food grains at the subsidized prices. They also providing free cooked meal to the pregnant ladies, lactating mothers, those are giving milk to the kids, children aged 1 to 6, and midday meals also included in the Food Security Act. These also included in the Food Security Act. Next, in this topic we also learn that National Food Security Act, they are monitoring of the health, nutrition, education through the ICDS, Integrated Child Development Program. ICDS, Integrated Child Development Program. Integrated Child Development Program. Integrated Child Development Program. Sir, what is this ICDS? Excuse me. This ICDS means, we also learned it is in Women Protection Act, like Bhumika, whenever anti-dowry problems or child marriage problem, ICDS. This ICDS is, it was launched by central government. These, they take care of the health of the students, especially below 14 years, health, nutrition and education. So these department responsibility to provide health, nutrition, education. Okay, that is the ICDS department will do. They may also ask, what is ICDS? So what they will do? ICDS means Integrated Child Development Program. They will work for the children below 14 age, for health, nutrition, education they provide. Next, let us discuss the Supreme Court judgment. The major judgment, the famous judgment was given by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, what did Supreme Court gave judgment that Supreme Court also urged. Supreme Court was all the states that you have to provide meals to the each and every students. So that's because of that, first these are implemented Tamil Nadu. First midday meals. First midday meals implemented Tamil Nadu. After that, the government suggested that to all the state governments, why can't you provide these midday meals to the students? So that after the announcement, after the verdict given by the Supreme Court, all the states are organizing these midday meals, which they are providing a quality food, nutrition food to the students, and there is a special menu also provided by the government. Eggs are providing, meat providing, even meat are providing in Gurukulas and Kasturiba, and remaining sambar, dal, egg, tomato curry, potato curry, rasam. These are different menus are providing by the different state governments after the Supreme Court verdict. Okay. So after whenever the Supreme Court verdict was gave, now 14 crore students or 14 crore children, that now they can get food and in midday meals. It is one of the largest school feeding program in the world. Largest largest school feeding program, largest school feeding program in the world. So very great. This India is very great. We are providing 14 crore students, more than that. This is as per the 2013-14 statistics, but now it has been considerably increased. Okay, yeah. If you see Gurukulas, they are providing extraordinary food to the students, nutritious food, absolutely. Right. Sir, who will cook the food? Then who will the cook, chef in the schools? So government, Supreme Court also directed that the work need to be given to the Dalits. The work need to be given to the people, those who are downtrodden. So that Dalits, they are given the opportunity for the Dalits or widows. Next one, destitute women. Destitute women. Yes, sir. What is destitute women? The meaning of destitute women means single women. The women which they don't have any opportunity to whatever they work. Single women, they do not have any home, nothing else. So they were called as destitute women. Destitute women. In Telugu, we can say that nirashrayulaina. I repeat, nirashrayulaina, destitute women. Okay. Yeah. So this is about the Food Security Act. I hope you understand Food Security Act. It's a wonderful act made by the Congress government in 2013, properly implemented by all of the states. But we, southern states, are better while we compare to the north states. Next, let us see the nutritious status. Nutritious status. Yeah. Obviously, in our country, most probably, if you suffer anything, we do not meet nutritionist. But in other countries, whatever the diet you have to take, if any disease attack to you, if any surgery, so then you definitely have to meet to the nutritionist. That nutritionist will be give to you. So these things you have to eat. These timings you have to eat. So this is your diet. For example, diet is a different diet will be taken by the players. Cricket players like Virat Kohli, Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, these people were Hardik Pandya, they will take different diet. Those people are, they'll do boxing, okay, or they'll go to the gym, or these people will take a different food, okay. So that the nutrition status also we must understand what kind of thing we have to take. So what is nutrition? The food which is giving us energy, which is helping in our growth and which make us healthy. So that is we call the nutritious food. So which is providing us energy, which is providing us growth, helping our growth, and which us protect from harmful diseases and make us very healthy. So this is called a nutrition food. Okay. So what are the nutrition? It is a biological topic. I doesn't want to much discuss about this because I am a social teacher. You may ask. This also will be there in the Kwashiorkor marasmus diseases, protein, vitamin diseases in your biological subjects also. Let us see about first carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. Yeah. So what are carbohydrates? Simple. Carbohydrates which can be give energy to us. Yeah. Which can be give energy to us, that will be called as carbohydrates. Give examples of the carbohydrates. Example, rice. Carbohydrates are there in the rice. Wheat. Okay. Ragi, jowar. These are the examples of the carbohydrates. Next, proteins. Wheat proteins. Proteins. For what purpose we require proteins? For growth. For growth we require proteins. Growth and regeneration of tissues. Growth and regeneration of tissues. Growth and regeneration of tissues we require proteins. So where these proteins we may get? Proteins we may get from dal, okay, beans, eggs, meat. Dal, beans, eggs, meat we'll get. Proteins after what? Vitamins. Vitamins are vital in our world because they protect us. They protect from harmful diseases. They protect us. So vitamin we will get from where? Fruits. From fruits we will get vitamins. Sprouts. Then leafy vegetables. Leafy vegetables we will get vitamins. Okay. Minerals. We also require minerals. Our body also required minerals. Sir, where these minerals will be get? Minerals will be get ragi. Very high, rich iron content is there. In 9th class we learned in millets. Ragi, very rich iron and other micronutrients. Ragi, very rich in iron and other nutrients. Ragi after we can see leafy vegetable. You know leafy vegetable we eat leafy vegetable. Somebody they says that leafy vegetable we have iron, more iron will be there. Those who are having iron deficiency, that may have a problem of those who are facing troubles of iron deficiency, that people, the doctor, the nutrition suggests that eat leafy vegetables. Okay, like leafy vegetables and also sprouts. They will tell carrot. Okay, so because it may be some of the minerals will be added. Yeah. So what is the condition? What is the condition of the nutritious condition in India? Does all the nutritions are acquired properly in our India? Is everything is good in India? Is it properly? Is everybody is good in India? Let us see. NIN, National Institute of Nutrition. NIN. NIN means National Institute of Nutrition. It is located in Hyderabad. So they did survey. Their survey was completely alarming situation. Whatever the survey they did, the survey was shown very dangerous results. That alarming situation. We are in completely dangerous situation, alarming situation. Because approximately whatever the survey they did, as the result, let us discuss the results. Only undernutrition. Most of the population in India were undernutrition. Undernutrition means they are not completely taking proper food, proper nutritious food. They are not taking. No carbohydrates, lack of proteins, lack of vitamins, lack of minerals. So that leads undernutrition. So this undernutrition leads for what? Undernutrition. Whenever undernutrition will be there, it leads for the underweight. Now I wanted to recall one advertisement which is coming in TV. One Kushi, one girl, you help to them daily per month 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. These people were underweight because they are not taking nutritious food. So whenever we not take nutritious food, that leads to the underweight. Okay. So says that out of 7,000 children, they say that 45% were underweight. 45% children were underweight. Okay. Next, 58% underweight in Gujarat. In Gujarat, 58% children were underweight. In Madhya Pradesh, 56.9, approximately 56.9 means 57. It is in Madhya Pradesh. Severe. If you take the severe underweight, because we cannot cover them. Those children are facing underweight problem, nutrition problem. They may face a lot of health troubles like kwashiorkor, marasmus, protein deficiency, vitamin deficiency. Lot of problems will be there. Yeah, they are not stiff, they are not healthy, mentally, physically unsound. Next, so severe problem among the children were 16% of the children were completely underweight. Okay, 16% of children were underweight. Sorry, you are saying about only children, then what about the men and women? So as per the report, 35% of the women, 35% of the women also underweight. Women also underweight. Yeah. So these reports showing that these people are unable to take proper food, not taking food properly. Okay. Most of the women were in Odisha. Most of the women, the underweight percentage, most probably very huge in Odisha. Okay. You know that body mass index. If the body mass index below 18, underweight, above 25, overweight. So this body mass index also makes us to differentiate between the person they are underweight or not. Okay. So this is our lesson, children. You also once you check your body mass index, then you understand that what is your condition, and now the women's condition is very different. Certain percent of the men also underweight, some sections, because they are unable to acquire the food. Yeah, in this session we have done the accessibility of the food, what are the kilocalories rural level and urban level we require, and next well-off sections. Only well-off sections are getting most of the food. They are overweight. 80% of the rural people are, they are unable to get their requirement. PDS system we get, Antyodaya Anna Yojana we get, we saw Antyodaya Anna Yojana. We also saw that southern state like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, these are very good in the public distribution system. We also saw that 2013 National Food Security Act, that which can be legalized people's right to food. Okay, and also we also saw that what are the other aspects of the Food Security Act. Okay, I hope you understand. This is completely our lesson, food security. Thank you.